All right, this is Brice here with WP, straight at you from SF. And what I wanted to talk about is I'm just here on a boot camp between sesh. We're doing like a lot of like day game, and it's gonna be like a fun adventure here in SF. So very quick, I just wanted to drop like a little added value for the guys who are watching. So we are here like with actually like 2 students, 2.5, and we're trying that really like to get them like building that momentum. Momentum is like key in this game. Like if you haven't like find like way crutches, exercise, drilling, how to get out of your own way, which is like ultimately like being more social with girls and be able to apply like all the steps that we teach on bootcamp, you're pretty much fucked because you're trying to come leech for value and it doesn't work. Like you perceive as like this like fun taker, like this like taker, I take, and you don't give. So first off, you gotta give, like you gotta give something. You can't come with like leeching value, being a taker. You gotta provide, and the way you do that is you start talking. So we just simply like ask, you know, our students, our chode student, to really like start keeping fucking talking. KFT is like how we say, you know, in our world, is really like nothing else that having like your mouth speaking, having your mouth saying something, because really your brain is like built up on all those like neuropaths, and once it's like starting activating, you're becoming like more social. I was not very social. We were like in the van like just like 30 minutes ago, and now I'm extremely like charismatic. Girls like love the energy, and that's what I want to do like ultimately. Super loud here. So first off, like building momentum. The way we do that, simple. We reduce time between interaction. So we might do like a 1 set at the beginning of like the session, and we do another one a little bit after. Maybe it's like a 10-15 minutes if you're like a little slow, and then you start accelerating, and now it's like every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes. Now I'm getting like really like building like this massive flow, and once you're in flow, like things are a lot easier because you're already like starting the muscle. You're already, it's a little bit like starting like running. Always difficult. I don't know about you guys, but I hate running. But when I start running, I'm getting into like this zone after like a 15-20 minutes where it feels like nothing. And that's exactly what we're trying to build with our students. After 15-20, like the most shy introvert guys that we get on our program, they start getting like more social. They start to be actually very enjoyable, being fun around, and they build up and they provide that value to the girls. This is irresistible. For a girl, the fun always win. It doesn't matter like your status, the size of your dick, how much you have in crypto. They don't fucking care about that. What they care is fun, and ultimately having like a cool, fun guy being around on our program. We got all kinds of clients, usually like nerds. They come from like biotech or technology, IT, computer. I'm myself like a software engineer, and I know how hard it is like to really like build up that momentum. Trust me, it's like super difficult to change like the state of like logical to like fun and free association, and getting like really into this fun, light, retarded, frankly, to do that. But once you accept it, it's a little bit like starting an engine. When you start, you don't want to stop the engine. You want to carry on. Those really like drive you really like further and further from and closer to your goal, which is ultimately having a good time with a girl that you just met like in the street. Like I know ultimately like today I'm gonna meet a girl that's gonna be loving me, and my responsibility right now is just one thing: approaching until I find the right girl. Obviously I'm gonna drop like statement of intent. I'm gonna make sure like I'm always like going towards making it like a little bit more escalation, a little bit more like sexual, a little bit more like really like getting this closer, where the girl has to decide. And that's where like students like struggle a little bit. They might be opening, they might be like starting a little interaction, but they don't really like push that like enough. So again, we do this like all year. We're doing like this live exercise where this is not something you can learn like in a book or like on a video. Trust me, like we get so many feedback from like guys, I've been watching you for years, and they just like stay in this like little like static quote where they don't really like have reference experience. Like really the skill set comes from like taking action, and that starts always with that. When we deploy in the field like that, we're getting like direction, like student knows what they have to do. It's massive action, always. You can like really like get gangster result, get abnormal result if you haven't like taking like crazy action taking, and also like doing some gangster. So you should be able like to open mix sets, open groups, open whatever you feel like the girl like you into. And once you do that properly with like skill set, girls like immediately resonate with that because they know what it takes to do that. They know you're not like a normal person like who's going at the bar waiting for things to happen. You're a leader, you're gonna physically moving things forward. I've been doing this like for years and years, so obviously when I talk about this and the student like see, like I got a cool like outfit, that's really cool. My mom's gonna be super happy. Anyway, I'm the French Santa. This is, by the way, the last boot camp of the year. I've been on the road like grinding with Jeff, grinding with the student in every like cities that I've been this year. I'm just like very grateful. That's why I wanted like to spend a little bit that time right now to really like remind, you know, what really game is. And again, game is like simple. It's like bunch of guys, few friends going out. They already have fun. They invite like girls over, and usually when fun is happening, sex happen. That's nothing else than that. You can make this as like technical or complicated. I call like good game just like few friends, few guys like going out. They already have fun. They're already building. They're already making their own fun, self-amuse. Some girls like are part of that. And the natural progression is just sex, nothing crazy. I mean, you can have sex like in a creepy van or a cool van, we call it, the cool van with champagne, or you can do things more like hotel or Airbnb, your style. It doesn't matter, but at the end, like this is like a simple skill set. It takes like about like few months to really like master like the skill set. And then you like deal with logistics. So we break down those things. We do like review of infield, like our own infield for guys. And I really like show them that anybody can do it. If this guy here with a Santa Claus and a funny accent is like capable of doing like cold approach and meeting girls like out of nowhere in any situation, so you can. I know you can't, but you don't have the guts. And that's where it comes down to taking decision. I mean, when is the last time that you had like a crazy adventure like with a girl like you just met like on the streets? Not too often. I mean, sure, like you probably like open like few girls. I'm sure like you've been out and talking to few girls, but you never been able like to move things forward. And what I'm talking about is like skill set that you only like hear in movie. And now that becomes like kind of like part of like my own like normal life. Like I just like had like always like the better story, and that's very inspiring. So I got inspired like many years ago. When I come on bootcamp, I'm looking at for two things really. Like in the aftermath, I'm looking at, okay, what was the most inspirational things that I heard on the bootcamp? Maybe a coach, maybe an assistant coach that showed me like something I didn't know was possible, and really like being inspired And after that, it's really like taking action in the bootcamp, implementing, you know, because if you're getting inspired, you start like believing that it's possible. And that's about it. Like, you come on a bootcamp, don't expect the magic pill. Don't expect like, oh, I'm gonna change over, because if you don't take like the next bootcamp or the next date for you to become better. We had this student, like, we just saw him in San Diego, and I'm like, bro, what have you been doing since last bootcamp? I don't see any sorts of like progress. I think you quite honestly worst. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, if you're coming on an expensive program like that, you spend time, like your like energy, some resources to be there, and you're not making any progress from the last bootcamp, from the feedback that we gave you in writing. What are you doing? And ask yourself, like, what are you doing, bro? I don't like that, because for me it's like just waste of time, and I can't help a client, a student that doesn't want to get help. So come with like this really like will, this like strong desire of making progress, or stay home. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you on a bootcamp just listening at my cool story to not changing anything. I don't resonate like with that attitude. But if you are like that guy who's like actually like want to change, want to do some progress, and could be a little bit of pain, it could be a little bit painful, uncomfortable, I would say, come on the program, come on the bootcamp, get some help. Don't waste your time like approaching, you know, like Jose, like from your work, like the co-worker, you know, who has good advice. Yeah, Jose is really good, right? He talked to girl, he must be good, I saw his Instagram. No, man. The guys who really like get laid, they're not like really talking. They don't have time to that. I don't have time like to really talk about, like, you gotta come on a bootcamp to really like catch up with all my stories, because they get more insane and insane. It's like, it would be like just too much for a normal person to like digest like everything we see in the trenches in life, because those things you can only learn like when you are on the field, when you experience it. Again, like, there is the theory and there's like the real like practice and the real like activity of doing that, and your brain, your like muscle only gonna be like responsive and getting like this muscle memory by doing things. So look at the schedule. We got like some dates already like showing up for this year. I really like what I'm doing. It's like super cool to have been able to like travel. So many memories like with so many like girls. Shout out to all the girls. Remember me, Brice. And really like look at maybe like for the next few days of like 2025, what would be like the best things you can do for yourself? I mean, you don't have like a lot of time like to live here. You don't know. I mean, you don't really know what's gonna happen. So think about that. I didn't want to be like too dark with my Santa clothes. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you, and keep pimping. Pimping is real. It was Brice from SF. Until next time, peace.